everybody? David Justice, two-time World Series champion. I want to welcome you back to my Tuesday tips. Hey, today we're going to talk about slumps. Man, this is one thing that I've had a lot of conversations with players about, and everyone has their opinions about why we go into slumps. But I want to share a couple with you today as to why I think a lot of hitters go into slump. One is I think that we get away from our strike zone. When you feel yourself starting to make a lot of outs and your confidence is starting to wane, before you try to change anything with your hands or your feet, before you start looking at mechanics, first thing you want to look at is your pitch selection. What are you swinging at? You'll probably see that you're not swinging at a lot of strikes. You're swinging at balls out of the strike zone. And anytime we start chasing balls out of the strike zone, we're not the hitters that we normally are. But what makes us chase balls out of the strike zone? I think a few things can get you out of your strike zone. I think sometimes in batting practice, if it's one of those days where your pitching coach or the guy that's throwing to your team is having an off day, and let's say you've got 10 swings in the first round, and everybody wants their 10 swings. You know, a lot of times at the big league level, we're on a timer, so, you just can't sit in there until you get, every good pitch. So what you'll see is guys will start chasing pitches that are just a little bit out of the strike zone because they want to get their 10 swings. But what you're doing is as soon as you start chasing balls a little bit out of the strike zone, you are starting to invariably expand your strike zone mentally. So if you're chasing a ball, let's say chest high in batting practice because, the guy's having a tough day and you're trying to help him out and you're just trying to get your swings, that same pitch in the game, you just might swing at it because the mind is always trained, that way. So what you want to do is if it's one of those days where your pitching coach is not having a good day, instead of you focusing so much on getting your 10 swings, hey, why don't you just take 6 swings, 6 quality swings in the strike zone. Only swing at balls in the strike zone. If you can focus on that, then that's one part. That's just one part, though, that will start to get you back right. Another thing that I feel which puts us hitters into slumps is when we're hitting the ball well, we're letting the ball travel into the strike zone, and we're making a nice smooth pass. I like to call it good music, You're making good music, but then what happens is we hit a ball good, and we want to hit it better. And as soon as we start cultivating that feeling of wanting to hit the ball better, now we start to chase the ball. Instead of letting it travel to the hitting zone, now we start trying to get the ball further out in front of the plate. That's why when you see guys in slumps, they roll over a lot. The reason why they're rolling over is because they're now attacking the ball much further out in front of them. They're getting out here instead of allowing the ball to travel. So when you're doing that, if you sense that that's something that you're doing, I advise you to go into the cage, take a friend of yours, and don't even swing. Just get into your batting stance, get set up, get prepared to hit, and don't swing. Just focus on watching the ball and watching the ball go over the plate about 20 times. Just watch it, And then start a round of hitting. And if you're a right-handed hitter, I want you to think about hitting a ball on the ground to the first baseman. If you're a left-handed hitter, hit it on the ground to the third baseman. What we're trying to do here is allow the ball to get back to the hitting zone, Because this is where we do our damage, in the hitting zone. So you want to kind of exaggerate it a little bit. Let it get as deep as possible. See, now once you start getting that feeling of letting the ball travel, now let's start working our way back around the field. You want to take your batting practice, hit the ball the other way. Let that ball travel, hit the other way. Now you're getting the ball back into the strike zone. So now we've got our strike zone back. Okay, because now we're not chasing balls that are out of strike zone. We're only swinging at strikes. Okay, and now we're letting the ball travel. If you can truly focus on those two things, okay, you won't be in a slump very long, because now you'll be swinging at more strikes and you will be allowing the ball to travel. And I think the third part that kind of goes in line with you getting out here trying to hit the ball is you don't have to try to kill every ball. Okay, 80% will get you 100%. All it takes for you to do is line up nice rhythm and get good extension. That's all you need. Like I say, it's good music. Don't try to speed up the music. Every one of us has a nice smooth swing that we have, that's personal to you. And when you're hitting the ball well, that's the rhythm that you want. Don't change the rhythm by trying to hit the ball harder. Listen, if you hit a ball 410 feet or you hit a ball 510 feet, you still only run around the bases one time, right? So don't get caught up in trying to hit a ball 500 feet. All you need to do is be able to hit it hard enough for it to go over the fence. And that's it. I used to like to say, I was the king of the first row home runs. You want to get my ball, be in the first row, second row, third row. You still run the same. All right, so if you keep those three things in mind, one, let's get back to swinging at strikes. First thing you want to look at is what am I swinging at? Secondly, let's get back to letting the ball travel, because you're probably chasing the ball. You're not seeing it. You're not letting it travel. You're getting out here. Anytime you start getting out over that front foot, you're just closing that distance to the ball. Okay, as opposed to when you're hitting well, you're not jumping out there. You're staying back nice and relaxed and letting the ball travel to you. You do those two things, and then lastly, don't try to kill the ball. Just make good, smooth music, line drives. If you do those three things, yeah, you're going to get in a slump at some point. All great hitters, no matter who you are, they have slumps every summer. From the Mike Trouts to the Albert Pujolses to the Manny Ramirez's, the list is long. A slump will come visit you in the summer. But if you focus on these three things that I just told you, it won't be in town for long. Hey, thanks for joining me. David Justice signing off. I'll catch you next Tuesday.